From Three Ring Circus and the White Castle to Salton Sea and Sand, Devir has really postured itself as one of the preeminent makers of Euro strategy games of the last few years, making games that are thoughtful, interesting, and definitely compact. Not to mention the other aspects of their aesthetic, which is to consistently maintain something that's a little old school, a little timeless, playful, but also austere, which feels a bit at odds when you take a first glance at their new title, Covenant. Not only does it have the bigger dimensions, but it has this sprawling table presence with loads of components, and the components themselves using different materials than you're used to seeing out of this company. And while they're no strangers to fantasy with games like Sand, there is something that hits different about this old school high fantasy dwarven kingdom theme. But with a pedigree of some of my favorite games of the last few years, I definitely had to give it a look. You are the head of a dwarven clan, vying to claim the most glory for your house by means of clearing the mountain of its stone and monsters, then building houses, workshops, and monuments, completing deeds, crafting powerful artifacts, and just doing general Euro shit to get points. On your turn, you assign one of your 4 dwarves to one unused tool on your board, complete that action at a strength equal to your dwarf's level, plus added, beer, because I guess drinking on the job is totally compatible with fantasy OSHA standards. Earn a potential boatload of consequential benefits for said action. Then it's the next player's turn. Repeat until all 4 dwarves are used. Reset for the next round after scoring some variable end round points. Play 3 rounds. Most points wins. Okay, so here's what I really love about this game. Well, here's what I really like about this game is your board is full of possibilities just begging to be upgraded. While each player starts with one each of the 4 actions: dig to open up more space on the central board, build to put out buildings, fight to clear monsters that populate in the caves, and deliver, where you can put resources towards unlocking monuments that can also be constructed. There are 8 more slots that can be filled with additional copies of these actions, allowing you to more flexibly allocate your 4 actions per round. And these upgrades can be put into any of these slots, getting the bonuses that are labeled in that spot on your board. Want more houses and workshops to put out? Maybe you need to upgrade your resource capacity, or maybe you even need to upgrade the strength of your dwarves. And this is just one of the many paths of upgrades that your board can contain. You got these King's Gems that, when selected, you get a bonus based off of where you choose to put it on your board, and then gives you a different bonus based off of the King's Gem at the end of every round. Or they're socketing into your tools, upgrading the action so it gives you some unique bonus as you take that action, generally independent of what the action is, and is just a powerful source of points in general. And as a trained gamer, it feels oh so right to upgrade all your stuff. I just wish the payoff felt as good as the promise. Covenant is a game of dizzying reactions. You take an action, which then lets you make several choices about how to carry out that action. Then you get several different resources, upgrades, or bumps, up to 3 independent not point tracks, but rankings for a variety of other benefit tracks, which may in turn give you some other upgrades, which may also then give you some upgrades or benefits, which can all be repeated and compounded with the socketed gem in your possession or one of your tradition tiles from the start or unlocked during the game, which are passive benefits that sometimes play exclusively into scoring, but many have in-game benefits and exceptions. And for a game with only 12 actions total, you have this cascade of downstream impact from each decision you make, which can get bogged down in analytical hell. And while I'm a huge fan of the White Castle, which can be accused of a similar thing, the failing of Covenant is that the various parts feel disjointed. There's no cohesion, no flow. While White Castle feels like the madness is somehow working in concert, my prevailing sense with this game, whether it's gazing at the extremely busy board with moving and refreshing tracks and tokens and placements, to making good use of each action in sequence, is Discord. Sure, there's strategic opportunity here. One action can sequence into the next. Your upgrades can augment your possibilities in your overall strategy, and you can wring a lot of points from the various systems in this game. But for the most part, to me, it rings hollow. A lot of possibility, but not as much purpose. Take, for example, upgrading your actions. You unlock another pickaxe, so now you can dig twice in a round. With only 3 rounds, that's not a huge investment, and digging just leads to the next chain of unlocking bonuses, which are potential outcomes that can come from so many other things. So when everything leads to similar advancement, nothing really feels special. So from there, without a sense of much player interaction beyond a race to accumulate, which may change up what parameters are available on the board for you to pursue on your turn, and some limited jockeying for placement with buildings, it really comes down to just sussing out the most bang for any particular buck. Maybe I'm being too harsh. There's love and care in this game, an attempt to use a classic fantasy setting in different styles of gaming. As a Tolkien guy, I love the idea of dwarven clans building complex and layered societies, and there are hints of more nuanced flavor coming through, from tradition tiles representing your cultural heritage to the socketing of gems and your tools for added benefits, but like the individually cool mechanics, it gets lost in the superficial. Do stuff, get points, dwarf mine, dwarf drink, dwarf build. Look, there are going to be some people who love this game, who love upgrades for upgrade's sake, who love eking out every possible efficiency from a logistical puzzle without worrying about too much disruption in the way of other players. And I wanted to be that guy. And there's going to be some people who are like, yo, maybe you're just bad at the game. Hey, maybe you just don't like complex games, which is wrong on both accounts. 1, I love a lot of games that I'm really bad at, and 2, a lot of the games I love are more complex than this game. What Covenant really showcases is that in gaming, like in so many things, it's not enough to just focus on potential. You can't just endlessly dig deep and dig greedily like your hungry little dwarven gamer heart desires. No, you have to have purpose for any payoff to ring true. And that's our review. But let me know, what is your favorite game in the Devir catalog? And if you've played Covenant, let me know your thoughts. Did I get it all wrong? Put it in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for doing all the things, the likes, subscribes, comments. Those all help with the algorithm, help the channel grow. But above all, thanks for being an amazing community. You know that I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.